Welcome to Sovereign in Specie. I have quite a few unfulfilled promises on this channel that I wanted to start to correct. One is expanding on my little doctrine of holdability, my 3 sovereign values of wealth preservation. Now the question is here, in regard to holdability, why do I choose this piece to represent it? Well, do I plan to stack all of the half-ounce Perth Series 2 lunars? Not exactly. Do I plan to keep this forever and see it as something special to me? No. Do I plan to sell it first? Do I plan to set it back into a deep stack, into my most prized collection? No. So what do I intend to do with this half ounce? Well, I paid, what was it, $46.49 for it. What I intend to do with it is hold on to it in a middle stack sort of area of holdability, waiting for the right time. It's there on the table. It may not be the first thing I go sell if I decide to sell something on a climb, on a peak, on a high dollar, in a bull market. It may not be the first thing that I sell, no. But in a bull market, this would definitely be on the table, because it's not like a long-term, it doesn't go with the preciouses. Not necessarily something I would go swap, GSR swap for gold or anything like that. But it is something that I would maybe decide to get rid of on a high dollar. Or if we see a valley of price dip here for the next few years, I might go ahead and collect the half-ounce Perth Lunars Series 2. I can't say for sure. We'll see what happens. If price goes up, maybe I'll turn this over at some point. If price goes down, maybe I will stack the rest of them. Until then, I see it as a sovereign minted bullion coin collectible limited edition, not limited edition, a limited series, a collectible series of sovereign minted bullion coins. I know that it will not only keep its value in silver weight like any silver, and it won't only keep its value as a sovereign coin, but it will also keep its value as part of a collection, a series, a limited series collection of coins. We're going to put it up here at the top. I have a few other pieces here to kind of give an idea of holdability. Would I never sell this? Well, I have two. Maybe I wouldn't sell both. But when it comes down to it, this is something that I would maybe at least go see what I could get for it. A numismatic. I like to not get too far away from the etymology of a word. Numismatic means coin. So even this bullion strike, toned up, current year silver eagle, even though it's fairly generic in a sense, it is a sovereign coin that is struck for bullion investment purposes. Even this is numismatic, because numismatic means coinage. So numismatic just means sovereign coinage, but it also has come to take a modern meaning of, in the collector market, anything to do with coins. But to separate that from stackers, who are also collectors in their own right, they're collectors of precious metal by weight, but they are collectors. To separate themselves from stackers, I can never say this word correctly, numismatists, to separate themselves from stackers, the numismatists had to start using that word more. That we're collecting coins, we're collecting rare coins that are collectible. We're not just stacking, and that's respectable. But at the same time, even though this is not a rare collectible coin, it's just a silver investment coin, I consider this numismatic because it is sovereign coinage. And part of the reason I say any of this is because in my system of stackability, holdability, and collectability, something like this fulfills a place of holdability for me. Now, a more collectibly numismatic piece, like a proof eagle or a rare date or a key date, whatever, something with a privy mark, I don't know, falls into my category of collectability a little more, yes. Although that's not to say only numismatics fall into that category. Personal things can also fall into that category. Your preciouses fall into that category of collectability. But in the general market perspective that is shared in the collective market, collectability is basically just numismatics. Now, this is technically numismatic, but it is not a collectible numismatic. These are two different markets. There's an investor market, which is the stacker market, and then there's the collector's numismatic market. And you find numismatic items in both categories. Now, do I see this proof-like buffalo round as holdable or collectible? Yes, I do. It was given to me by my mother from some silver of my grandma's when she passed away. When my grandma passed away, this was one of her pieces and it was given to me. So I will never sell this unless I suddenly feel like grandma wants me to, or something weird like that. But yeah, no, I would never sell this. This is a very special piece to me. It is highly collectible to me. It's in my personal collection. It's in my preciouses. This is a highly collectible piece to me. Now, it's not just because it's proof either. That's how I tell it apart for sure. But this piece, it's one of my first rounds, so it's pretty holdable to me, to be honest. It's not just stackable, as in surface stack, ready to sell. If anything, this would be one of the first coins I would go see what I could get for it. Because I feel like it's attractive enough that maybe a coin shop would want it enough to come up near spot. These are two more very holdable pieces for me. I just find both of them very, very cool. One is anonymous mint, and one is Germania mint. They've been some of my longer term holds in my deep stack, in my personal collection, my preciouses. This, I hope I will not develop an extremely tight relationship to, and I can keep it somewhere on the table. Maybe not purely surface stack, maybe not liquid in that sense, like something else that I would consider this liquid. I would sell this on a high dollar. If a high dollar comes around, I probably will sell this. I don't see it as a long-term hold, although I do think it is very, very cool. I like it a lot, but I do not see it as a long-term hold. This I see as a mid-term hold because it could become part of a more valuable collection to turn over way later or to keep and pass on. Or it could bring me a little bit of liquid on a high dollar, because it is a slightly numismatic, slightly collectible piece, however modern it is. So I hope I've maybe explained slightly some of my doctrine of holdability here. I went to a local shop today, more of a flea market, pawn shop, buy sell trade than anything. I asked them what they were paying for gold, and they said they always buy gold. They don't maybe buy silver during a really volatile time. Depending on what the silver is, they will buy it. I take that to mean maybe not 90% and sterling during those markets, but generally they buy silver. And he told me that they always buy gold for 94% of spot for Eagles and 92% of spot for generic and foreign mint, which I thought was a pretty cut and dry, fair system. I won't lie. For a pawn shop, flea market style place, I thought that was a pretty decent system. I wanted to finish with a little rant on what I'd like to call stackitis, or maybe stacktrophy, like atrophy, but stackers get it. Stacktrophy. It's when you get this lethargy that begins to develop where you're a stacker, you stack, you have a stack, you hold silver, but you begin to get rusty. You become, I don't know, depressed, disenchanted. I don't know a whole lot of people, but the people close to me, some of them do stack, they are stackers. Some of the people I know online are stackers. So I do hear from and see quite a bit of this. I see this mindset in people, and it bothers me. I don't think it's a good strategic mindset. And here's the best way I can explain it. When prices go down or up, when there's drastic price changes, they're upset. Now, I'm not saying that's always wrong. Maybe you were too late and you were trying to get in and the price just shot up. It's, okay, I understand being upset. But the price can fall. The price falls a little bit and these people are like, oh, no. That's one side of it. Why did the price go down? On the other side of it here, you have never sell. Oh no, you guys, the price fell. Darn it, why did the price fall? Why did prices go down? Why did prices go down, you guys? Well, they do that. It's a good opportunity to buy in more. That's one side of it. Why did the price go down? On the other side of it here, you have never sell. This bothers me. So a lot of the same people who are always griping about the price not being high enough are always saying never, never sell. Can someone explain this to me? I feel like that's a really bad mindset to have. And I'm not saying sell. And of course, never sell, even half. Yeah, you definitely don't want to be just selling out, but it's good to go and get a quote, at least. It's good to go. You don't want to get rusty. You want to know. This is something that Joseph's Reserves, I've heard him say a lot. You want to know your stack or know what you would sell, what you wouldn't sell. Not in those words, but he's said quite a bit about that. And that's kind of one of the stackers. That's part of the stacker's code, isn't it? That it's like, know what you hold. Don't just know what it is. Know its value. So, like, some stackers, some of the people I'm talking about that have this mindset, they would put all this together. I'm not saying I wouldn't store this stuff together, but you would see this stuff just like all of these in a tube together, maybe even the half ounce in there with it. And they just like go, what are they going to do? if a price spike, the price that they are looking for is only going to be on there for like 2 days. You're only going to see the prices that they're looking for about 2 days. When that bull market comes, you really have like less than a week if you really want to get in on that high dollar. So what are these people expecting? What are you people expecting? You know, where are you going to go? Where are you going to take it to sell it? Are you going to take it all in one big mess and let them pick through it and give you good prices tell you what's a good price? Or are you going to have that all figured out? Because they would probably appreciate it if you came in at least with the coins separated from the rounds. Well, honestly, they would love it if you came in all unprepared like that. But the point is, why would you not want to go and really suss out the value of what you have in comparison to its weight, and maybe develop a little bit of a plan and a system for what you would keep based on that value and what you would sell based on that value. And people are different, and different times circumstances can be different depending on the person. Whatever, you would keep your more generic hard weight 90% whatever in the deep stack, whereas you would sell something like bullion coins. Maybe you would keep your numismatic collection forever and only trade in bullion coins and generic rounds and junk silver. You know, all I'm saying is you should really have a plan, because if you want that high dollar, it's not going to be there for long. You know, are you going to ship to a bullion dealer to get those prices in that like week of a peak, the peak week? Are you going to sell on eBay or something? Are you going to go to a local coin store? Or do you know which local coin shop you would go to? Do you have a pawn shop that has decent prices, that pays decent prices? Do you have a buy-sell trade flea market that has decent pay price? Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are not prepared to sell because they have this mindset of never sell, but yet they are obsessed with the price going up. Well, if you intend to keep stacking, you should be perfectly fine with the price staying low. If you have a never sell mindset, you should really enjoy those low prices and keep stacking. Or if, I don't know, never sell makes no sense to me. You should always have the option and maybe the plan to sell something if the conditions are right. So never sell is really not something that makes sense to me. One more little story before I wrap up here. My nephew came to me. He had like over 10 ounces maybe. I'm not sure how much he had, and he sold like 6, 8, I don't know. He was really bummed about it. Like he felt almost super discouraged, like depressed about it or something. And I was like, how much did you buy it for? Well, I bought it when it was like 28 or 30 or something. I'm like, so what'd you sell it for? And he's like 60 or 70 max. I can't remember what he got out of it. But yeah, I'm like, okay, you needed the money, didn't you? And he's like, well, yeah, my car, I needed to fix it. I had to get my car fixed and I didn't have the money to do it. I'm like, dude, that's, you won the game. That's kind of the dream. That's the point. That's why we do this. That value that he put into silver didn't only stay preserved in silver for a few years and then bail him out of a problem. That value that he stacked in silver, held for a few years, and refused to keep it as a collection down the road, and sold some, it actually appreciated for him. and got him way more than he put into it when he bought it. I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be upset. You should, if anything, the price has gone down since you sold that silver. You should look at it as a good opportunity to save some or cut back on some things here and there, whatever, and reinvest. Reinvest on a little bit of stackage. That's good, though. I consider that all good. I'm like proud of him for that. He'll probably watch this. It's weird if he does. He's gonna listen to all this, but I'm proud of him. That's a good thing. Like a lot of stackers out there have this mentality where they have a problem with going and making a deal, swapping and liquidating ever. It's really something that you should subject yourself to, is going and seeing your options. To see your options, you should subject yourself and make the plan on something you will sell if the right time or price comes. Anyway, I'll leave it at that. This has been Sovereign and Specie. I hope my mic stayed on the whole time. Everyone, keep stacking, stay sovereign, stay sharp, and have a great day. That was kind of a weak ping to do the whole outro thing there on. Everybody be having a great old day.